All right. Well, welcome everyone. It is 5:30 p.m. on August 12th. Monica, do you see attendees yet? Let me know when the ballot comes up and if you have or camera and if you need help making them, because right now we do not have a quorum. Okay. So we will need, maybe we do. Here's the yes. So we do have a quorum. Yeah. Um, Do you see any participants yet? So we have, I just, need to know for commissioner on the cost. And Jean's no figure. Okay, that's it. All right, so let me know if that pops up, okay, and I'll come over and help you. All right, so I'm calling this meeting to order at 5:31. We do have a forum, Commissioner Peterson, myself, and Commissioner McCray. And before we get started, can we please stand and say the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And next is a declaration of conflicts of interest and any ex parte contacts of any item on our agenda. And we have no items for public hearing this evening, and we just have 3 items for votes. Okay, so, Larry, do you have any comments? I do not, Kent? No. All right, so that's a no on part of all commissioners. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from July 8th?
Yes, and I move we approve the minutes from July 8th, 2025 meeting.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's done. And now we have 3 minutes for the forum. We just have 1 person at our meeting tonight, but if you have a topic that you would like to speak about that's not on the agenda, then this is your time to do so. And there is no one. Commissioner comments? Does anyone have any comments or observations they would like to make? Okay.
No.
Maybe just mention that the last meeting we had, we had a great attendance and it was a very hot topic, yes. And we are, after the public input, we have met with the planner for the writer who's our, and we're working on a revised edition that hopefully will be what people are hoping it's gonna be.
Yes, and clarify. It was a very
Yes,
good,
and clear.
a lot of good input on that. I agree. I have no further comments. Lee is on. Do you know how to have her? So Lee, if you can hear me, can you please unmute and let me know that you can be heard? Can you hear us, Lee? Lee, can you say something? make sure you're unmuted and your volume's up. All right, let me try one more time. And then we'll move on. It is unmuted. Yeah, she's unmuted. So we should be able to speak. Yeah, I check all of you, right? Well, her. No, I don't know. So Lee, if you, I don't know why you're not able to hear you, you're unmuted. Check the volume on your device and just let us know when you have resolved that issue. Okay, we're gonna go ahead on the zone change for the Palmer zone change. We had a very thorough discussion of this at our work meeting. And there was a new, I don't know if it was a new letter, but a letter I hadn't noticed prior, but I put it in here. It was in the folder, but it was prior, it was from the 5 people.
Yes, I think it was in there the last.
Yeah, yeah, just wanted to make sure. Does anyone have any further comments on this before I ask for a vote? No. All right, so, either one of you, I'm sorry, there's only two of you.
I move that we approve the Palmer zone change from rural residential to commercial on lot B-2-1-21-226.
Second. And, Larry, do you want to start the vote on this one? I am a no. Yes?
Yes.
Go ahead, okay. So that's 2-1, so the recommendation to town council, Lee Ballard, are you there?
Lee, do you want to call my cell phone?
Oh, I can do that. And text her. She got her number. All right. The next ordinance up for a vote and any additional discussion is an ordinance clarifying that uses not listed as permitted or conditional are prohibited. And I clarified that the language about, if there's something that you want added, that was, before you go to the DRC, you have to come to us, and that was in the DRC ordinance from the previous vote, and we both had that same question. So that language isn't in there. We could ask as an amendment that we put similar language as a recommendation to the town council, that they put similar language in this.
So this one, the only change in the language is just a sentence that says any use not listed or as permitted or conditional shall be deemed prohibited. Right? That's the only change. And for me, I don't see a method or a way for an applicant to submit a use that's not,
And that's in the DRC one previous.
okay, good.
But we could also suggest as an amendment that language be included in this one as well.
Yeah, to me, if it's not listed, it should be, let's have a discussion, not it's prohibited.
Well, it's prohibited until it's, you have to say it's prohibited, but if you, want to change the ordinance, then the process is to go through it.
Yeah.
So I see it as, I first read it and still think the same about it some time ago. But I said, okay, here's what we want to do. We think we've got things covered. But if we don't, then it's prohibited. And I thought, okay, why? So if we forgot something, then it's prohibited until someone changes the ordinance to allow it. So it brings it back to the commission or to the council and allows discussion and consideration to make it something that is allowed rather than prohibited. Because I look at it as this kind of a standard way of saying, here's what we want to do, but if we forgot about something, it's prohibited until it can be changed
And
or considered.
the town attorney did recommend adding this language. He also recommends updating our prohibited uses, so it's clear. And all of our uses actually,
Right.
permitted, conditional, and prohibited. But he said he suggests we include this language and do that. And the reason is, he explained it like, if someone can argue, it's not listed, but it's similar to.
Yeah, there's,
This helps with that gray area. And because we both had the same question, should there be language in here about what to do with? And that would be an easy thing to add, right? Because we have that language that is already in the DRC revision one.
I remember seeing that, so
Yeah.
do you have that? Is it one of the?
Well, it would be, in a former folder.
Right.
And it would say, but it said. Oh, yeah, but the gist was, if someone would like to suggest a use that is not listed, they need to present it before planning and zoning. That's the gist of it.
Right.
And I think that's what we were concerned about.
Yes.
Did she call you yet? She's changing devices, the mic won't work on her computer. So we can pass it as is, we can make an amendment, and send it on with an amendment.
I was gonna make a motion to pass this,
Yes,
but I'd like to get kind of a clarification from Larry
Let's see where he,
as to
yes.
his concern.
I don't, if there's already a process, I don't know why we have to have the language that says it's not listed as prohibited. I mean, if it's not, I don't want to be business. If somebody came here and saw that, well, I want to do ABC business, which is listed on here. It's done every other town, but Purdue just doesn't have it on their list. I guess I'll go somewhere else. If I read that, but
And it comes to us and asks. Is it
But then-
possibility?
It doesn't say that on there, which is,
And that's what I'm suggesting,
so,
is that we add that language
right.
Yeah,
as an amendment.
so how about if we add that language that if we don't have it, instead of saying it's prohibited, why can't we say if it is not on an ordinance or in an ordinance, for our county ordinances, then, the applicant, needs to bring before, the proper body,
Yes.
planning and zoning, in order to address the issue. I don't see a big difference. I think they're both the same in a way,
Yeah,
but if,
okay, because that's what we do now.
So,
if,
And while I hear you're concerned about business,
I think the one that Lee and I have, and I've supported here tonight, I think there's that concern that
listen,
people want to sneak something
and then.
that we've left something out and that we're worried that there are conniving
It's not a big deal.
sources in the world that
Okay, I'm gonna put you on.
want to send something through.
I
And
don't even
so
know if you, even if
your
you're.
explanation, Larry, does the same thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, that according to that, if it's not covered in the
It's my-
ordinance. If an item is not covered in the ordinance, then it must be brought to its planning and zoning. If it's not there, how do you brought to the planning and zoning?
And if it's a similar use, wouldn't that just be a administrative thing where the zoning
Well, we don't want to compare
administrator says,
if it's similar use
No.
to some other town and they're giving us an example like you just did a minute ago. No, I wouldn't feel comfortable unless I hear it. I would think that we would want to review, but I want to listen. As to me, because you have even more experience than me, I want to listen to how that may have worked, or you may have seen things like this happen in the past. Like you gave an example a while ago. So,
And what swayed me is that the recommendation of our town attorney. That this language is good to have,
maybe, in writing,
and Riker also, he's seen this.
if he said this language is good to have, but
Yeah. That if a use is not listed as conditional or permitted. It is prohibited.
I don't know, I see Larry's point, that it's just negative aura, you know, of kind of an image aura, but that we don't trust. People, and how do we deal with that? How do we deal with lack of trust? Well, we deal with it with ordinances.
And I don't even look at it as a trust thing, I just look at it as a clarity thing, so somebody doesn't. I'm here with, one expectation. And then that's where we've had confusion in the past as well. And I just think it leads to clarity, and I think the clearer our ordinances are, the better, and we do have a path to add things. And there's example of us working on several of those things now. Lee, do you want to add anything?
During the conversation, can you tell me, are
So Larry,
where are you at?
we are at the uses not listed as permitted or conditional or prohibited. And Larry has a concern, you want to express your concern here?
I don't understand why we need this, number one, I guess, if there's already a process, then why would we need to add this? I hate looking like we're anti-business by saying this business that's new because technology's changing, that could be great for the town, if you want to bring here, we can't do because it says it's prohibited, or it's not listed, so it's automatically prohibited. So, and if I see language that says something different, then I'm okay, but the way it's written, I would not want to go to law.
And whatever, and Kent feels that.
Well, I think that the way it's written in a proposal is probably pretty standard protocol in a lot of ways, in a lot of places similar to where we sit today. However, there must be a way that we can word this, that it doesn't sound onerous, that it doesn't sound like we're trying to catch people who want to sneak it around us or stop people who are going to take advantage of it. Why can't we use different words that say, if an ordinance, is not, if a certain action is not specifically approved or not approved on our ordinances, then why can't we word it such that it says, it must be brought before the appropriate body, either administrative, legislative, or town office, whatever the.
It would be us, we are the ones who decide uses, that's us, they would need to come before us.
And again, I don't know that every single thing has to come before us, because it might be a debate about whether it's already permitted and can be signed off with a permit in the office.
Well, and those would
And
be
it means
listed
that whether
as,
we've got everything covered there, probably pretty close. Do we have everything covered here at the legislative side? Probably pretty close. There's gotta be wording that makes it so that we're not trying to stop somebody from sneaking in. I don't like that either. I don't like stopping people or thinking that there are people who want it. And, you know, maybe you can turn somebody off right away because they read our ordinance, like Larry says, before they ever come talk to us. And ordinances and say, well, hey, this wouldn't be permitted because it's not in the record. That's not true. You and I know that. It could be permitted. It has to go through
and
the
that's,
proper source. But I think it's the wording.
So Hurricane City says that if it's not listed as permitted, it'll be prohibited unless the zoning administrator determines the use is substantially the same as the permitted or conditional use in flood. And if we add that language, then I'm okay.
and I would not be okay with
Yeah.
that. I would be okay with, and if the use is not listed as permitted or conditional, then the person makes an appeal to the planning commission. Because right now, that's currently what we have, and if it's done through the zoning administrator, then the public has no input. If it's done through us, they do. And I feel that's important. I'm very comfortable with adding language saying that if someone is interested in adding or modifying the use, they need to propose that to the planning commission. I'd be very comfortable adding that language.
I agree with that. I don't think the planning and zoning administrator should be interpreting an ordinance or being able to decide on an issue that doesn't have an ordinance. So I think that needs to be something legislative.
And I lost the. So. We can propose to pass this as is. We can propose to pass it with an amendment to section. One. Where it says, and then there's only two sections. Section 1 and section 2, after the language, any use not listed as permitted or conditional shall be deemed prohibited. And add that language about if. if someone wants an added use. Apply for a use not listed. What my numbers. I'm gonna do some.
Well, there,
There,
I'm thinking that there has to be a state recommendation as to how to deal with the wordage on this issue. That the state says this is how you handle items that are not handled in already past uses. There has to be language that the state recommends a community use, a legislative body use. That covers things that are not there yet. It's not that somebody's trying to sneak something, it's stuff that's not covered, or that the town hasn't experienced, or the town hasn't thought of. We've got to be language in our ordinances that allow for that, or that are recommended by the state.
so what I've written is, if someone wants to apply for a use not listed as permitted or conditional. They may do so with the planning commission. Through the planning.
And is that how our, I don't know what you call it, but our constitution? Our.
That's
is that how
that's
it's worded?
what's been happening, because if you go to DRC meetings, they say, this is not a listed use. You need to go and ask the planning commission to change this.
That's kind of what I remember too.
And that's current status right now, so this is just doing the current status. But also clarifying.
So why can't we say that? Why can't we just say, if it's not on, it's not in our ordinances, uses permitted, then, an applicant must apply to, our legislative body.
But this
Time is up.
This could be an amendment to item 1, or section 1 and 2, that following any use not listed as permitted or conditional shall be deemed prohibited. Someone wants to apply for a use not listed as conditional, as permitted or conditional, they may do so through the planning commission. You know that?
I still don't think it's a legislative thing. The Hurricane City can say that,
But we're not heard.
right?
We are, and I don't think we want to be heard.
But like if it is gonna say right now on our list of use, that you could even open a grocery store, or you could have a market, or you could have I wanna sell shoes, you want, it's not a permitted use right now, so I have to.
Is retail,
Doesn't say retail,
then that's why we're updating.
right, so,
There may be communities where, they are comfortable with a planning and zoning administrator to make those decisions that aren't covered. And there are communities that may not have a person that is qualified. And I guess it's up to the community to determine whether they want to leave, unconsidered, unthought of, or covered items that are truly, legislative up to an administrator, then, you know, those communities are welcome to do that, and it probably works fine. I frankly don't support that, but, I'm not Hurricane, so I live in Virginia, and I don't think,
So I think the issue of updating our code and this are like, you know, they're in the same universe, they're different. And, I
so if
agree
you want,
with, I
if you
agree,
want one,
well, I agree with Kent that I think this is implied anyway. And I think our staff knows this, but it would make me more comfortable to include that language, I would be happy to add that as an amendment.
you're talking about the language you agree. I don't know if Larry's gonna vote for that either, so.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna vote for it the way it is, I'm not gonna make a motion the way it is, I would make a motion if it said it's not permitted, it could go to the zoning administrator, but obviously, you don't want that, so I won't make a motion, and if it's
Okay,
not legislative, then I'm probably not gonna
So
vote
I'll
for
make
it.
a motion,
as
unless you wanna table it until we have a bigger body,
no,
because
I can,
Cameron's not here.
I can second the motion. And we can just leave it as is, or we can,
We don't have Cameron, and we don't have, Lee. I would recommend we move it to the next one. I'm sorry. It's controversial, and I think we ought, and we've had so much discussion here that I think it ought to be towards a more full commission than the three of us.
try to get me. Her internet's not working. I'm comfortable voting on it. Especially since the town council, I had to hold off on voting on it, we haven't discussed, this. We discussed this. And I think the vote would be this, the end vote would be the same. If they were here or not.
But I don't think we can legislate that way. I think we need to, I don't think we can, I agree with you. You know, from what the talk is here, I think it's 3-2, but I don't think we should do it based on that. I think we ought to wait for a full body. I don't care, I don't care.
If we had a full body, we would do very little.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I think we should vote on it. I mean, we're gonna do the same thing. We voted on the zone change. Why would you, that could have been different?
Well, I feel differently about this one.
Well,
I,
why do you not need a core, why do you not need a full body? And that is more impactful. I disagree with that. Ken.
well, I'm sorry, that we disagree, but. Please.
Is Lee Ballard on? She is, she's on, but she says her microphones aren't working. Can she call me?
Lee, can you call Darlene?
Well, waiting for that phone call, you are the chair, you get to do what you want to do, but on items of, as I talk.
Well, I need a motion and I can second a motion.
Talk about my philosophy of, how to, handle these types of situations.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah.
I listen.
I think that it ought to be, And over backwards to get, um, to arrange for our commissioners to be able to be here. Even though we know their holdings, I don't think we do it because we know their holdings. I, they conserve a right to be able to come and express their opinions about it. Rather than, because we know where the vote is, you and I can pass this today. I don't think that's why I'm recommending that we stay this. I think we stay and,
I would have done the same on the zone change.
pardon?
I would have done the same on the zone change. I believe we need to be.
Well, I
consistent.
feel that.
So with that philosophy, we should just call the meeting.
But I thought that Cameron, and Lee were okay about the zone change. And yes, they had strong feelings, but I think as the discussion with my mom last month, I think they were okay.
How is that
discussing
argument
the
different?
400th section.
How comfortable, and that same argument holds true on this issue.
Well, you may think that, I'm not sure Cameron's not here to say that he thinks it. I think that. And I would guess Lee wishes she was here, but they're gonna cancel each other. Maybe Cameron will vote for it this way, I
She votes to recommend it. Just got a text message from her. And I have not heard from Cameron. We communicated with me. She says, this is just a systems of how we in most small towns have written their ordinances. You should adopt a procedure for allowing similar uses, and you already have a process for unlisted uses. So this is just doing a recommended action by our attorney and planning staff. And that's why I think we have the attorney, we have our planning staff, both recommending this. And I heard that directly from both of those individuals. And at the open forum. And, not in a private conversation. I think we should go ahead
Okay, so I'll make a motion
to approve.
to approve.
Item number 2.
You want me to read it out?
Yes.
An ordinance clarifying, or the number you think.
You can repeat after me. An ordinance clarifying.
An ordinance clarifying that uses not listed as permitted or conditional are prohibited.
Are you second that motion? Yes.
Yes.
Bernie, yes. Larry,
No,
then finally, parking lot. Okay. She's into Zoom now. If you can hear me, Lee, can you please speak? Make sure she's unmuted.
Could I, Well,
Yes.
I didn't hear what you just said.
We just 2-1, passed item number 2 about uses not listed as permitted or conditional or prohibited.
And does that include my vote?
No, because you weren't on at that time, but it passed 2 ayes and 1 no.
Okay. I guess it's not appropriate for me to speak about it now. But I would have voted yes, and it's not a big deal. It's just what both our attorney and our planning staff told us to do. And it's also something that most small towns everywhere have relied on to be the fact when they listed uses in their thing. They've only lately started listing or prohibited uses. So anyway, we need to do that, and I agree with that. But in the meantime, that kind of covers us, along with the option for people to claim a similar use or to convince us to add a use. So various options. Sorry, I would have voted yes.
All right. All right, okay, so your rip is on the last item, an ordinance amending the Virgin Municipal Code Title 16 to include definitions of parking lots, prohibiting commercial and public parking lots in all zones, inserting section 44.11, prohibited uses, and including municipal parking lots as a conditional use in all zones. Did any commissioners have comments on this one?
So I know we discussed allowing it or rewriting this before it came back, so I'm surprised to see it in the exact same format as it was last time, where it added the fact that you could, as a business owner, if you were required to have X amount of spaces and you X+6, you would be allowed to have fee spaces in there.
But that's,
And this says that only the town of Virgin can have parking. And the definitions probably need to be cleaned up, but it's, I was expecting the newer version of this to be on there, not this one, so. The way it's written right now, only the town of Virgin can have a fee parking lot.
well, and that's gonna be amended. Lee, did you want to speak to
Yes,
that?
yes. In fact, I would like to move to approve that ordinance with an amendment which removes the ability for a fee to be charged by a municipal lot. So in other words, the last sentence in that definition of municipal lot should just read, no fees may be charged.
And that note was made in the folders.
Yes. And that's my motion.
And I do believe she and Lee and him did have a conversation. I don't know much of the details of that. I personally am,
She's already made a motion.
oh, do we have a second?
I don't know that I have a second because I kind of feel like there was a lot of discussion last time. I thought we kind of came to a consensus that we were pretty good and
No,
except maybe it was what Lee was just talking about. And so my clarity is not really very good. My feelings about Virgin becoming a parking lot are concerning. And how we deal with it and where we deal with it ought to be something the city is deeply involved with. And I just don't want to look like, Wrigley Field and everybody opens their driveway and their vacant field when it's ball game going on and, charges $10 for you to park in the field or their driveway. I just don't think we have anything set up that's tight and make sure that the city
well, we've already passed that ordinance.
controls that.
We already passed that.
So
ordinance.
what does that ordinance say? Tell me.
That in residential areas, you can't have paid parking.
Okay, I remember that now, thank you.
Yes.
This
This is for, the other areas.
So
And
this is for
there
commercial,
was,
this would only be in commercial zones,
no,
could be in rural residential.
according to the ordinance, the commercial. 32, 34, 38. It kind of combines both, so it reiterates the old one and updates it with, what we didn't include was commercial. And 44 is, Tyler Eastwood. It's in all the zones.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
There had been discussion of the standards that I thought should apply to a municipal lot, of those being written and then applied to also to businesses who wanted to add a few extra lots. And, I've thought about that a lot, and I talked to Cameron about it. And in the end, I just can't feel good about promoting any increase in parking spaces in the town. And the reason that it's different if the town does it is that the town is answerable to the people and not just to profit. So I think that the town is unlikely to, especially if there's no fee to be charged, is unlikely to do something that is going to become a problem for the town. So, for the people. That's all.
So Lee, this is Ken.
Hi.
Hi. I would appreciate it if you would maybe kind of re-go through that again, as I was a little bit confused of what you're comfortable with and where you feel that it sounded like do you feel like what we got works? Which I don't know what we got. Other than can't do private residential. So
By what we've got, I'm not sure what you mean. Could you?
well,
clarify?
I'm just saying what you just tried to explain, I got lost, and I apologize, it's me, it's not you. So
No.
could you rephrase that or repeat it?
Sure. I'm saying that parking lots are not a good thing in many places, and for many reasons. And the potential for Virgin to become a big parking lot is a negative to me. And since every space and every lot, of course, is going to add to the excess heat that they bring and the excess runoff and contamination to groundwater, even though one space probably doesn't do that much. I just don't feel right about voting to add any more beyond what are absolutely necessary for a business. I do admit that there would be it would be a benefit to a handful of residents to have a park and ride kind of situation. But my opinion about that as to it being better for the municipality to do is simply that that the municipality is answerable to the people. So they will not, the town is unlikely to build more than are needed or to put it in a place that would be more harmful than some other. And that's why I thought it would be okay to have the municipality do it. I would also agree to not let anybody do it at this point until we see how things go, and just prohibit all the ones that are listed, all kinds of parking lots. But
I feel that
but
same
I'm
way.
also happy to just make the municipality not be allowed to charge a fee, and I would feel okay about that. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Would like to.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way, Lee. If we could take out or remove municipal, or just say that that's added to the list of prohibited. So in other words, there's going to be no commercial or municipal and one other thing, like for the definition for municipal and public are identical, except that public is anything other than the town of Virgin. And so under municipal, where it says government entity, can we just put in the words town of Virgin? So-
Yes, and that should be that way. In fact, you're absolutely right.
Village.
So under municipal, where it says government entities, it will now say town of Virgin, and under prohibited uses, it will also include municipal.
Okay, so let me get this right. So the municipal definition will change, but you got it.
So just,
Okay. And then add that there.
and if you amended to say that, then I would second that, right?
And we also would get rid of section 3,
It would, so.
add municipal parking lots to conditional uses.
Yes.
No, we'd have to. This would
Oh,
be,
okay.
get rid of
Yes,
that,
yes.
this would become 3,
Yes,
and then under 4411 prohibited uses.
and municipal. So there's no parking lots allowed.
So, okay, just sort of this down, 44 prohibited uses, 4411. 16, definitions. So I need a point of clarification, chapter 1644. So you would say there would only be a municipal, the prohibited uses as it reads now, we only have prohibited uses, commercial, public, and municipal with the amendment under 4411. I'm thinking that somehow the other numbers got left out, like for, shouldn't it also be in 40? Because this is how we've been talking, 40.
44.1.
Is that just Highway Resort Zone then?
Yeah, I'm thinking it also needs to be
Just,
commercial,
yes,
right?
yes.
The, under prohibited uses, it should be in commercial as well, which would be
1640.12.
point 12. I think that was there. 4412. And then it would be E, F, and G. Okay. Are you following this week?
Yes.
Okay, am I correct in that that should have also been included under prohibited in commercial?
Yes.
Okay. So I have that number in here, so if you want, I can do this, well, whoever wants to.
Do you want me to make,
Well,
Can I-
we got it written down here, make sure it makes sense to you.
Okay.
sorry. So does somebody want to make an amendment?
Oh, an amendment,
Can I make an amendment?
Or I
you
can make
already
an
made the
amendment to it?
motion, Lee. You've already made the motion,
Right. That's why I'm suggesting an amendment. And
yeah.
I'm happy to do it if somebody else doesn't want to.
Okay, do you need help with the language? Yeah,
I don't think so.
Okay, I will walk you through it if you need help. Go ahead, make an amendment.
Who are you talking to? Me?
Yeah,
Okay. I would like an amendment to do the two following things. The definition of municipal parking lot will, instead of saying governmental entity in the second line, will say town of Virgin. And in section 3, we are going to, in section 2, we are going to add uh, section 44 point what?
1640.12.
12.
So that would prohibit it in commercial also.
Did you, because right now, under section, original section 4, you have it prohibited in highway resort
Only.
only.
Yeah, and that's looks in section 2 like it only prohibits it in commercial, but not in highway resort. Is it highway resort 44?
Yes.
Yeah, so it has 40, but not 44. And I'm not sure how that happened, but section
I
2,
know it
that's all I'm
has.
saying that right now. That's the second amendment. The second part of the amendment is to add chapter 44 to the sections. And
Well, it is in section 3. It is not in section 2. So
that's
add,
that's why I'm adding it. Yes.
add commercial and public parking lots to prohibited uses in 32, 34, 38, 40, and 4411. No,
4411,
44, it's 11.
4012.
All right.
Okay. The next part
Mhm.
would change section 3 to say add municipal parking lots to prohibited uses in sections blah 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 instead of
To
conditional.
prohibited uses. Okay, we'll have to change the numbers of the sections as well.
Well, we don't have to have the section numbers necessarily as long as we say
Okay.
adding it to prohibited uses.
Okay, so just leave it as that.
And the third or fourth change is to add a C under section 4. 4411 prohibited uses has A and B, and add C municipal parking lots.
Okay, so in section 3, you have 4410. She also has 4410.
We don't.
This-
I'm sorry. Those section numbers are wrong. You're right. So if we
So,
change conditional to prohibited, it's going to change the sections. We should just leave,
correct. So we
yeah,
need to update. In
or
section
just,
3, add municipal parking lots to prohibited uses and update section numbers.
yes.
And in section 4, if we do that in section 3, why do I need section 4?
The problem with the reason section 4 is there is because there is no section for prohibited uses in chapter 44.
But there
Oh,
is in 42. Okay. All right, thank you for that, Kurt. Says new section.
Yeah, there's no.
Okay.
It's
So
not,
we're gonna keep 2, we're gonna keep 3, but change conditional use to prohibited uses.
and updating the section numbers.
And update section numbers. And then in section 4, add a C, municipal parking lots.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have
I
a second?
think I understand it, and I second, and I feel sorry for whoever has to try to write that.
That's why I said before I take the vote, this might be more confusing.
Okay.
All right. So I have the motion from Lee, a second by Larry. Let's start with you this time.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
okay, so 4 ayes. No. All right.
You need that
I'll
sheet
vote.
in?
We do.
Okay,
Because what we'll do is,
Do you want my vote?
Yes, I do want your vote.
Sorry, it's I.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So. Are there any other items for discussion this time?
I found the last set of rules for the town of Bergen's planning
I
commission,
know, we've been, yeah,
but I just,
start looking on them, and I'm working on one, and now that we're gonna have kind of a quiet time as we revisit things that are in process and listen to feedback and all that, finalize general plan stuff and all that good stuff, and work on some of these big ordinances that we've gotten a lot of public feedback on, and I think that's gonna take us a bit. So we're gonna give updates to those kinds of things, and then we're gonna start digging into this, because that's something we need to get done, but we've had all these things in
Right.
our place.
and if these were unchanged, would that mean that we're still following these same rules that were adopted in 16, or is that we need to update them?
We, not every year, but I think we need there, because there's things that we don't have that same process in our environments, I don't know if you noticed that, you know? And I know the town council has updated theirs, and I like your idea of trying to mirror theirs and then tweak it to fit our functions. Okay, but yes, that's, if you look next week, that's
Okay,
one of our things, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take a motion to, Lee, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'd like to move, we adjourn this meeting.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor? Thank you, Lee.
Aye. Thank you.
Pam. Thank
Thanks
you,
all.
Larry. Awakening, we're going to go, you know, it's like my husband has, his body is starting to work again, and these lumbar punctures are being wonderful things for him. And